and welcome to Jigawa in Focus. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Now, for 3 decades, a fruitful collaboration that has thrived between the World Bank and the government of Jigawa State. This partnership has not only endured the test of time, but has also been hailed as a beacon of progress and development. Now, recently, Mr. Shubham Chaudhuri, the country director of the World Bank, visited Governor Umar Namadi at the government house in Dutse to acknowledge the remarkable strides made by the state on its path of steady development. Mr. Chaudhuri's visit to the government house in Dutse was not merely ceremonial, it was an opportunity to recognize and commend the efforts of the state government in fostering sustainable growth. During the visit, Governor Namadi warmly welcomed Mr. Chaudhuri and his team, setting the stage for a productive dialogue. In his address, Mr. Chaudhuri praised the enduring partnership between the World Bank and the government of Jigawa State. He highlighted the significant progress made over the past 3 decades, attributing it to the dedication and collaborative spirit of both parties. Sectors such as education, healthcare, infrastructure, and agriculture was singled out for their notable advancement, indicating a holistic approach to development.
The case of Nigeria, which is now our largest program of the World Bank anywhere, we've been providing about $3 billion in concessional financing for Nigeria over each of the last 4 years. And much of that financing flows down to the states. So states like Jigawa, we were in Kano yesterday, the financing flows down from the federal government to the state government. And the idea is that we are not, so Mr. MC, I have to correct you. There are no World Bank programs in Nigeria. The financing is for government programs that we happen to be supporting. So in Jigawa, like in all the other states, there are programs of Jigawa State that we happen to be supporting through financing, but also every other form of support. And the purpose of this visit, I think, Your Excellency, is primarily to, we met in Abuja, but you said that we should come to Jigawa to basically have an opportunity to sit with you and your team. I assume it's okay to continue, yes? Yeah, you can hear me, everyone. So to sit with you and your team and hear from you on, and then hear from the teams, the actual program teams, what is the implementation status? What are the issues that we may need to deal with jointly? And also, Your Excellency, one of the things you mentioned when we met in Abuja is what are the other ways we might be able to support you and the team, recognizing that ultimately the decision about where our financing goes is not our decision, it is the decision of the leadership of Nigeria, both at the federal and at the state level. But any other ways that we can support you, certainly we would love to. And I know that you mentioned, I remember at that time, the challenges of farming, rural families, farm with floods, and then having enough to then take on the risks of replanting, the problems of the rivers being silted and dredging. So I remember you just were so impressive in how you thoroughly explained to me as a non-technical person what the issues were. So this, I hope, provides an opportunity to hear more about such.
Governor Namadi reciprocated the sentiments expressed by Mr. Chaudhuri, acknowledging the pivotal role of the World Bank in the state's development journey. He emphasized the government's commitment to good governance, the inclusion and policies, of course, which have been instrumental in driving positive change across various sectors. As the meeting concluded, both parties expressed their commitment to further collaboration and partnership. Discussions revolved around future projects and initiatives aimed at sustaining the momentum of progress. Governor Namadi assured Mr. Chaudhuri of the state's government's openness to continued support from the World Bank in realizing its vision of a prosperous and equitable society.
Let me warmly welcome Mr. Shubham, the World Bank Country Director in Nigeria, and all his esteemed members of his team to Jigawa State. The government and people of Jigawa State are most delighted for this high-level in-country mission into the state. This is certainly a very important and historic day for us. For, to the best of my knowledge, this is the first time a country director of the World Bank in Nigeria is leading a bank mission to Jigawa State. On behalf of the people and government of Jigawa State, who are directly beneficiaries of all the World Bank assisted intervention in the state, we heartily welcome you and your team. We believe the visit will not only strengthen the development partnership and collaboration between Jigawa State and the World Bank, but will also open a new frontiers of development for the state. For over 3 decades since the creation of Jigawa State in August 1991, there was not a time when there was no World Bank assisted program in Jigawa State. At the moment, we have only 3 very active World Bank assisted programs running in the state, namely the Agro-Climatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscape, ACRISEL, the COVID-19 Preparedness Response Project, and the NG-CARES program. There are others either at the take-off stage or somewhere in the pipeline, including Adolescent Girl Initiative for Learning and Empowerment, AGILE, the Nigerian for Women program, scale-up projects, the Immunization Plus, and the Malaria Progress for accelerating coverage and transformation services impact, as well as the appeal program. These are yet to fully become in fact active. There are yet other projects which the state has submitted its expression of interest to participate, including Livestock Productivity and Resilience Program, LPRESS, Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project, RAMP, and Accelerating Nutrition Result in Nigeria project. For this latter project, even though the state government has proactively taken the necessary steps to meet all the project readiness criteria, including establishment of necessary institutional framework and structures, with the provision of counterpart funding either earmarked in the budget or already in the designated project account. We are still awaiting the feedback of the federal government and the bank. Nonetheless, when we await the commencement of all the projects sometime soon, we are confident they will complement and contribute to our development agenda and continue to greatly impact on the well-being of our people. As the country director is aware, Jigawa State has over the years recorded several success stories in the implementation of its development initiatives across various sectors and the implementation of various PFM's reports, that means financial management reports. The agricultural transformation agenda implemented by the state government has significantly benefited from the agricultural development project implemented over the years with the assistance of the World Bank. Today, Jigawa State is the major player in the diversification of the economy. Today, Jigawa State is a major player in the diversification of the national economy through agriculture and also a great contributor to the national food security. As we speak, Jigawa State is the leading producer of rice, sesame, hibiscus, industrial tomato, wheat, and many other crops in Nigeria. In the PFM reforms, the Jigawa State government has over the years also pursued several institutional and governance reforms aimed at instituting a regime of fiscal transparency, financial accountability, as well as prudence and value for money in the state public expenditure and financial management system. Our success stories in these regards were attested by various independent assessments, such as biannual ICANN Accountability Index Assessment and the Budget Transparency Index Assessment by the Civil Resource Development and Documentation Center, in which Jigawa State has continued to be in the forefront. Even in the ease of doing business, Jigawa State is not doing bad in improving its business environment and investment climate. Jigawa State was also the second best performing state in the recently conducted SIFTES program. I mention this because these are success stories in which the World Bank has significantly contributed, such as through the state participation in the recently closed state and local government reforms program funded by the European Union but implemented by the World Bank. The overarching mission of the World Bank is helping to fight poverty and improving living standards of people all over the world. While the success of the World Bank is legendary in this respect, challenges still continue. Several factors have continued to conspire against the sustainability of gains achieved. The recent bold reforms by the federal government of Nigeria might have stopped the slide toward a serious fiscal crisis with a renewed hope of macroeconomic stability, at least in the long run. However, in the immediate and short run, these reforms have been apparently very painful to many Nigerians and could potentially reverse the gains achieved in the fight against poverty by both the World Bank as well as the federal and state government. A significant proportion of the so-called middle class are gradually falling into the lower income quadrant. Even at the state level, despite the success stories I have mentioned earlier and the decades of positive impact of various development projects implemented by the World Bank, the state is still facing multifaceted development challenges. Most worrisome of the challenges is the persistence of poverty in spite of decades of interventions, which were implemented in line with the bank's mission of leading the fight against poverty. In 2022, Nigerian Poverty Assessment Report published by the World Bank indicated that Jigawa State is still among those with the highest poverty headcount, or with the highest percentage of the population being multidimensionally poor. The number of out-of-school children in the state is still relatively high, despite the success story in the implementation of BESDA program. Another existential challenge is the devastating effect of climate change, as demonstrated by the adverse effect of perennial flood, desert encroachment, and extreme weather conditions. While much is being done through ACRESEL, and I believe much needs to be done to address these issues. We had the recent COP28 held in Dubai, and Dubai come with a various recommendations of supporting developing countries facing challenges of climate change, including perennial flood, which is one of our major problems in Jigawa State. It is my prayer that the bank will support Jigawa State in accessing some of the technical assistance and the funding support available under COP 2028, so that we'll be able to deal with the issue of flooding and we'll be able to deal with the issue of climate change. These challenges, especially those of persistent poverty and the rate of backward slide in losing decades of positive impact, call for complementary measures and reforms to ensure sustainability of program results. This may also necessarily call for a change of approach in the implementation of strategy of some interventions and initiatives to achieve our desire of seeing practical improvement in socio-economic well-being of the citizens, which also manifests in the statistics of national survey. Let me use this opportunity to inform the country director that Jigawa State is currently pursuing a 12-point agenda, which has been effectively integrated into the third edition of the State Development Framework, soon to be published as an overarching state development plan. Largely, the 12-point agenda informs our electoral campaign promises, and from which I made several commitments to the people of Jigawa State as part of my inaugural speech declarations. Well, generally, this aim at achieving sustainable improvement in the socio-economic well-being of the people of Jigawa State, there are specific commitments in which I believe the bank will have a role to play for us to achieve our objectives. Specifically, I would like to mention our commitment to the development and gradual emergence of a digital economy in the state. Part of our resolve in this respect is to ensure that Jigawa State reaps the dividend of the fourth industrial revolution through vigorous pursuit of innovation and technology. Having developed a state ICT and e-governance master plan and a strategy, we intend to establish a state agency to drive implementation of the state ICT policy and digital economy initiative. A draft bill has already been developed for this purpose, soon to be submitted to the state legislature. It is therefore my prayer that the bank will key in Jigawa State into one of its ICT and digital economy initiatives for the state to achieve its objective in this regard. Also, I want to request the country director to consider the issue of perennial flooding in the Gulf state, and also the issue of climate change. And also, like I said, the poverty is on the high side, and the state government is doing a lot to reduce through various policy implementations. And we hope the World Bank will come in to assist us in that regard. Finally, I once again appreciate the country director and his team for this historic visit to Jigawa State. As I prayed earlier, I hope the visit will not only strengthen our collaboration and partnership, but will also open a new frontiers for development of the state, such as in supporting the ICT and digital economy initiative in the state, and also in trying to reduce the level of poverty in the state. I most passionately hope that all programs of which the state has expressed its interest will soon commence. I urge the bank to look into all the issues and challenges that will mitigate against sustainability of the program's result. Once again, on this note, I wish us successful deliberations and a very impactful outcomes.
The visit of Mr. Shubham Chowdhury, the country director of the World Bank, to the government house in Dutse served as a testament to the enduring partnership between the World Bank and the government of Jigawa State. Through mutual cooperation and shared vision, the state has made significant strides towards sustainable development, garnering commendation from one of the world's leading financial institutions. As Jigawa State continues on its path of progress, the partnership with the World Bank remains a cornerstone of its journey towards a brighter future. Now moving on to another development of Governor Umar Namadi, which is bridging the gap to tackle out-of-school children. In response to the pressing issue of out-of-school children, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has forged a partnership with the Jigawa State government to integrate Almajiri pupils into the homegrown school feeding program. This report delves into the collaborative efforts aimed at reducing the alarming number of children roaming the streets without access to education and the implications for regional security. At the heart of this initiative is the commitment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to address the growing concern of out-of-school children, particularly in the northern region of Nigeria. Recognizing the urgency of the situation, President Tinubu has joined forces with the Jigawa State government to implement concrete measures to ensure that every child has access to quality education. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on the Homegrown School Feeding Program conveyed President Tinubu's unwavering dedication to inclusive education during a gathering at the government house in Dutse. Through this partnership, President Tinubu aims to extend the reach of the school feeding program to include Almajiri pupils, thereby addressing the root causes of the pervasive issue of out-of-school children.
Today, we are honored to be in Jigawa State, and like I said, when we were coming in, we noticed the beautiful road networks and the beauty of the state, and most of us were even asking if we were going to return back to Abuja today. So, congratulations, sir, for the good jobs that you have been doing, and we'll keep praying for you, sir. Straight to the point, we are here as regards the school feeding program. And you are well aware, sir, that there have been some changes that have been going on through the system in the federal. These resolves have just been to ensure transparency, accountability, and the smoothness of the program. Mr. President is passionate about the homegrown school feeding program, and he's passionate about Nigerian children. He wants each and every Nigerian child to be, given a meal, a nutritious meal a day, at least one nutritious meal a day. And as a result of this, we have been working tirelessly to ensure that the program kickstarts, and it kickstarts well. Be that as it may, my office has gone into a series of dialogues with development partners, with private sector individuals, and with government people also. And we've tried to see how we can come together to ensure that when the program kickstarts, it kickstarts well. One of the things that we also have put into consideration is the aspect of what we call the displaced setting children and children who are out of school, especially the Almajiri kids. We see the need for us to really go to states and preach the gospel of involving the Almanjiri settings within the school feeding program also, because this is a very important demographic also within children. And we've been working with development partners, we've been talking to them, and we're trying to see how we can get development partners to states to see how they can, help the state government, to help the local governments also for implementation, when it comes to implementation and other, what have you, like training, technical assistance, and what other. So our coming to Jigawa today is to, 1, introduce ourselves, 2, come to work with the people of Jigawa to see how we can also help in bringing, the necessary hands on board, to see how we can even use Jigawa as one of the pilot-run states for some of the initiatives that we have on ground, especially as regards to homegrown school feeding. The international base for the homegrown school feeding, now we have what is called the School Meals Coalition. And the School Meals Coalition is based in Italy. They are a body of 99 countries, and they are the ones that are passionate and running school feeding, the Global School Meals Coalition. The theme of this year is Cities Feeding the Future. And this is where most local government chairmen and coalitions of other countries are coming together to see how they can also help fund some of the initiatives for school feeding in some countries. So what we are trying to do also is to see how we can get states too involved in these type of coalitions also. So we're here to help any way we can. We're here to work with the people of Jigawa State, and we're here to ensure that we bring in, different hands to come and work with the good people of Jigawa State.
Governor Umar Namadi of Jigawa State, in response to President Tinubu's commitment, affirmed the state's government's full support for the initiative. Governor Namadi emphasized the significance of addressing the challenge of out-of-school children, highlighting its potential to undermine security and stability in the northern region. He pledged the state government's resources and efforts to ensure the successful implementation of the program.
On behalf of the people and government of Jigawa State, I want to welcome the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Homegrown Feeding Programs and your team to Jigawa State. Actually, I think we are very happy to receive you because the school feeding program is very dear to us in Jigawa State. It's a very good initiative, and we want to thank Mr. President, 1, for accepting to continue the program. 2, for his own initiative to look at the program, scrutinize it, and make it beneficial to the people. This is a very, very important issue, because every policy you have seen of government, there is need to check it, scrutinize it, and ensure that people derive the benefit for that policy. So I think what Mr. President is doing by suspending the program and then looking at it, and I think it's a very good intention, and I think it's something that is welcome. Again, the mere fact that the Senior Special Assistant to the President will leave her comfort zone, Abuja, and start coming to the rural areas to see and also compare notes with the implementers of the program. That shows that you have a very good intention of reviving this program and making it beneficial. So I really want to commend your commitment. I really want to commend your passion for it, because your passion is in line with the Renew Hope agenda, especially as it affects children. So I think you are in a very good cause, and I think your commitment and passion for this is far beyond the call of duty. So I really thank you very much for this commitment you have demonstrated, because leaving your comfort zone and coming to discuss these issues with those that are implementing it shows that really you want to change the narratives. So I think I want to commend you for that. The school feeding program, like I said, is really something. Sorry, it's really something that is very dear to us. I can tell you, 1, it helps to reduce the number of out-of-school children, and also it helps to improve the learning outcomes. in the sense that the hours lost for children to leave their classes, go and look for food, and come back, that hours is saved, and now is translated into the process of learning. So that has increased the number of hours children spend in the school. Also, in addition to that, people that stay away from coming to school because they need to go around to look for what they will eat, they will come back, they will come to the school so that they will eat. People that are even out of school feel because of that feeding program, they always want to come to school. And from that, there will be a role.
The partnership between President Tinubu and the Jigawa state government goes beyond educational objectives. It also addresses the underlying insecurity threats posed by the large number of out-of-school children. By providing these vulnerable children with access to education with nutritious meals through the homegrown school feeding program, the initiative aims to mitigate the risk of exploitation and radicalization, thereby fostering a safer and more secure environment for all.
The Jigawa state government is ready to support all your effort along these directions because we are different. In fact, I want to tell you that among all the 36 states in Nigeria, it's only Jigawa that complement this feeding program. When federal government is doing class 1 to 3, Jigawa also on its own added 46. That shows how much we like this program. So I think in Jigawa, we are very comfortable with the program, and we are eager to see it back on track because we know the benefit of the program. And as a government, we will also give you all the necessary support so as to ensure the success of this program. So once again, I want to assure you Jigawa State is with you on this procedure, and we will continue to support you, and we'll give you all the necessary cooperation for you to succeed along that line, because the ultimate outcome will be the benefit for our people. So I think it's something that we will, but we want to assure you that what you are doing in looking at the program is very, very important, because there's a lot of investment in that program, and it generates a lot of economic activities down here. The people that will sell the raw meal, the people that will be employed as cook, the people that will be employed to serve, so many, the value chain is very, very important in terms of economic activities. So I think it is important, especially for the women folk, because they are the most beneficiary of this program. So I'm sure you will be eager to see that the program is back on track. So I think on this note, I want to assure you that the government and the people of Jigawa State are with you along that line, and they will continue to support you. I will assure you that we are ready at any moment, but we are praying that this program will come back as soon as possible, because it is very, very important.
The collaboration between President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Jigawa state government represents a significant step towards addressing the complex issue of out-of-school children in Nigeria. Through their combined efforts, they seek to not only provide educational opportunities, but also to promote social cohesion and mitigate security risks in the northern region. As the initiative unfolds, it holds the promise of transforming the lives of countless children and safeguarding the future of the nation. And with that, of course, we have come to the end of this episode of Jigawa in Focus. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Bye for now.